Okay, guys, I'm super excited. I have the amazing Robert Sagers from Sierra Interactive, and we are long overdue to do an update on all of the latest awesome features of the website, the CRM, all the automation, all the great things that they are doing and improving the website CRM combination. So many mega agents are asking me about Sierra Interactive, Robert. So, let's do a session to talk to those guys about what are some of the things that they can be taking action on right now. I have a ton of great clients who are already on it, who are just not using all these great features. So super excited today, guys. Robert, thank you for your time and all of your hard work, and let's rock and roll. Want to share with us kind of what the outline is, high level of all the great things that we can go over today?
Patrick, let's hit on some of the biggest features from 2022. And as we're rolling now into 2023 from Sierra Interactive, let's talk about agent reporting. Let's talk about our new integrations with Revaluate and Sierra AI, call transfer, automations. We'll dive a little deep on that one. And then some updates I know that you'll appreciate that we've made to the front end website. So let's hit all of those things.
And can we touch any updates to the mobile app as well?
Absolutely.
Right. And then guys, I will put, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the chapters to each one of these sections so you can come back to or jump around.
That sounds great. And what's cool, Patrick, I was just reflecting on this as you were opening us here, is that this is now this is like maybe the third kind of year recap that we've done together. Yes. So let's hit really quickly an update that we made at the end of last year, and that is a brand new agent reporting dashboard. Now, this allows agents, brokers, team leaders, to know what their agents are really doing. And there is a ton of data here. This is a demo site, so there's not a lot populated. You can run some basic date ranges as we continue to backfill some historical data, and you'll be able to see how many new leads have they gotten? How many new leads have they touched? That is, how many leads have they sent? A manual email, a phone call, a text message. How many calls are they making and getting, and texts and emails and the rest? And you can go ahead and rearrange that data or hide some of that data that you want.
Oh, very nice.
It's broken down by some of these, whether somebody is the assigned agent or they are the collaborator on the lead. So depending on how they're working the lead. And then it gets really granular. Like if you want to see somebody's phone calls, here we'll just, again, text messages. So outbound texts, there's 3 of them were manually sent. 0 of them were automated, as a part of an automated action plan, which is one of our key features.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really important insight, right? Because, they could be a bunch of automated and then they've never reached out.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Exactly. And when you take a look at calls, for example, you'll be able to see how many of those calls were based on the Sierra dialer, integrated within Sierra, how many of them were manually logged. Some of the times you have agents who are professing they're making calls and you're not able to see it within the metrics. Now you're able to see, they're making the call outside of Sierra. They're manually logging them. Let's get them into the dialer because it's right there within Sierra and really easy for agents to use. So we'll continue to be building out the data for you as in this year and years to come, so that you really can make clear and sound business decisions. I mean, not only in terms of, Patrick, you're a coach, not only in terms of coaching agents and saying, hey, how can we do better? Let's look at what's going on. Let's compare to the last month and this kind of a thing, but just your business as a whole and finding those gaps. Agent reporting is going to be able to give you some insights that you just wouldn't have otherwise. Maybe it's going to confirm your gut and your intuition. Maybe it's going to show you some things that you just wouldn't have thought of. And agent reporting, it's live. It's in a beta phase right now as we continue to backfill some data, but it's live for all Sierra clients to be able to check out.
I love it. This episode is sponsored by, you would guess it, Sierra Interactive. Most of you know that I have a long-standing relationship with Sierra Interactive, and I highly recommend them to all my coaching clients, my friends, mega agents out there. And Robert is demonstrating today exactly why that is. So make sure you guys drop down below and book a demo if you use my referral link. That really just supports me and my relationship with them. And I'm constantly trying to help more of my clients and friends to use that tool more successfully. If you, again, are into SEO, generating free leads, content education marketing, especially on YouTube, and you want the best tools for automation in the CRM to communicate with lots and lots of people at scale with lots of control, with you individually as an agent and or with your team, Sierra Interactive is absolutely the best bang for your buck in the industry. Use the link down below to book a demo, my friends. Thank you so much.
Additionally, and I'll just bullet point these, we in the last year introduced a couple of really new add-on integrations. One is with a company called Revaluate. The other is what we're calling Sierra AI. And they are both paid add-ons. Okay. They're pretty reasonable costs, especially the Revaluate one. I want to point out, it's a company that takes all kinds of data that's out there and available, compiles it, and gives each of your leads, your potential sellers, a potential moving score. And we've had a lot of clients reach out to say that this has given them some success. It's a nice way to say, hey, Patrick's moved up into a score of 85. I wonder what's going on with him. This is a great time for me to call and say, hey, Patrick, how's it going? And you could say, actually, I just took a new job. I'm thinking about moving to Dallas. Well, there you go. I mean, you found now an opportunity that wouldn't have been there otherwise in this continued low inventory market in many places. That's gold to be able to find those high intent sellers. So both of those integrations are available now. Very helpful. Sierra AI is a text message based conversation that your assistant, the AI, can have with your leads. And so if you're generating leads through Sierra's Google PPC or some other way, lots of things you can do to optimize SEO with Sierra sites. As you're generating leads when they're coming in the lead routing, you can send them to Sierra AI. You can engage them other ways. So that's going to tee up some opportunities for you as well, especially if your agents aren't always the best at staying on top of communications. This is a very good working through a 57% response rate in terms of what they had found. So it's a really nice one. Both of those are available now. Additionally, speaking of the Sierra dialer, this past year, we introduced call transfer. And so if I call a lead and I want to be able to quickly hand them off to, well, there's a couple of use cases, Patrick. The agents you're working with, how many of them have a lender, a preferred lender that they work with?
A lot, almost everybody.
A lot, right? So that's just part of your business now, is that you're working to incorporate somebody who can help someone with a transaction, a lender.
Yes.
So within Sierra, if you're on a call, hey, Patrick, let's just get right to it. Are you pre-approved or whatever? Hey, have you been watching the interest rates? It seems like they're stabilizing. Are you interested in learning more about that? Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, let me get Larry Lender on the phone. Let me see if he's around. And you can put that person on hold and you can call out to Larry Lender and connect the call and do a warm handoff. Hey, Larry, this is Patrick. Patrick, Larry, I'm going to drop off now. Or just a cold handoff. That's helpful for
And I can do that all inside the dialer.
All within Sierra. Yeah,
you can. Very cool.
It's a fantastic feature, especially too for those of you who have ISAs who are qualifying leads, right? Wow, so Izzy ISA is on the phone, and Patrick now is getting into the details. Hey, well, tell me about this specific property. Yes. And Izzy ISA can say, absolutely, let me get you in touch with Robert. He can help you walk through some of the details about that and many other properties. Boom, warm handoff, cold handoff. You can do that all now integrated right into the dialer. And those call recordings, if you have call recording enabled, if it's legal in your area, you can save all those into the lead detail page. So very helpful feature.
Yeah, very slick. I know a lot of mega agents with their ISA teams and or lenders, this is a very good solution to those guys.
Absolutely. And so it's a very seamless type of a feature that integrates well with the general collaborator role, well with getting lender level users into your account and other use cases as well. So
very cool.
Wonderful thing. We incorporated that and a ton of other features into the Sierra mobile app in this past year. That was and probably always be our most requested feature when we released it a couple of years ago, or late 2020, I think is when it officially came out. Check out the Sierra mobile app. Patrick, I don't know how much you've gotten into it, but we're consistently making updates, not only in terms of building functionality into the mobile app, but it's got features that are not available in the web app. It's on iOS, it's on Android, it's the exact same app across both, and it's hot. You've got a full notifications feed, so you're going to get push notifications about the things you want to get push notifications about. The inbox is all there with a really nice, for example, text message capability, so it feels very native to what you'd be experiencing if you were using text messages through iMessage or some other service. You have the ability to grab a QR code that's unique to you that you can share out and text out, or just right there at dinner, post up so that people can run that QR code through, and if they fill out the information, be assigned to you as a lead. So it's a very nice solution for those who are on the go. Agent reporting, I just mentioned, we've built that into the mobile app, so you can constantly, just depending on your different workflows and your interest, you can be consistently checking in with how your agents are doing right there on your iPhone or other device.
Love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, even at the beginning of the mobile app launch, I really enjoyed using it. You know, I haven't been using, anything as of lately, but when I first started using it, I really did like the way that you guys set it up and the interaction with it. I've used other apps before, and this one definitely moved smoother. It was a better experience for me.
That's wonderful to hear. Excellent. Hey, you and I like to geek out on stuff, right? And I just want to say that we talked about agent reporting already. Sierra Automations may be the biggest feature we've ever released, and we released it in December of 2021, but man, did we continue to make enhancements to it all the way through 2022. Sierra Automations are wonderful for just making sure those tasks or things that you just want to operate in the background, save some time, make yourself more efficient, even take whole like employee hours and reallocate them to something that is more valuable for your business. That's CRM automation is wonderful for agent accountability. I know that a lot of brokers and team leads, they have different standards and things that they want their agents to be doing and hitting. And when they're not, I mean, that sometimes has to bring up uncomfortable conversations. With CRM automations, you can set up specific standards that will just automate in the background so that everybody's on the same page to say, look, if you don't call this lead within 20 minutes of being assigned to that lead, if they're not in your SOI, you didn't manually add them or whatever to the account, they're going to get reassigned to another agent, or they're going to get reassigned to a Sierra pond. Yes. So that other agents can come in, and that's just part of it. So if you see that happen, don't blame me, just blame the system, and it just works in the background.
Yeah, I want to make 2 comments real fast for maybe some of the agents, mega agents who are looking at this video and exploring Sierra for the first time. There's 2 things that I want to point to that we've covered in the past. One is one of the original reasons, Robert, why I was such a fan of Sierra Interactive compared to all of the other big box systems was because the foundational automation for the CRM communication was step number 1, which is I could send an automated text, an automated email, a ringless voicemail, and the next time that the customer came back onto the website to look at a listing detail page, we can have a site message or a pop-up, which I can integrate a YouTube video. And I can do all 4 of those in 2 ways. I can create the traditional one that goes for a year, and or I can create one if they respond to the text, it turns the whole campaign off, or if they respond to the email. And then there was the next step of automation of if they achieve that, then we moved them into this next, filter, and then we can move them to the next campaign. That, guys, that was like 2020 when I was looking at
and really big in 2020.
No other website CRM had that capability or foundational ability. So that is step 1. And then step 2, my mega agents out there, I did cover with Robert, I think it was last year, we talked a lot about the lead pond and how the lead pond game is played. For all my mega agents out there, you've got to have a great strategy for the lead pond. So, we're now moving into a whole new world of automation above and beyond those 2 basics. So I can't wait to see some of the new stuff in the automation that you guys been playing with.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a ton of things like you just mentioned around action plans, pausing, and this kind of plan. Now you can, trigger an automation for when a specific plan is applied or when completed. You can do not only, add this tag or assign this other plan, but a lot of other things. I just 2 things I want to point. Well, gosh, there's so much here, Patrick, but a few things. One is there are still a ton of behavioral notifications and or behavioral triggers. So when a lead schedule showing request returns to your site after X more days, those have been there or were there, and we've continued to build them out. For example, if there's a communication from a lead, if your lead sends a text, sends an email, sends a phone call, schedules a showing request, requests more info on the property listing detail page, that can trigger an automation. That in itself,
that's huge.
That in itself is good. But when you start talking about the conditions then, so the trigger is if this happens, the conditions are, and these other things are also true. So for example, you can say if they've recently been on your website or not, that can be a condition. Depending on how long ago they registered into your account, can be a condition. Are they a new lead? Are they an older lead that's resurfacing? Right.
Yes.
Running conditions for, has an agent ever made a phone call? Did they make a recent phone call to this lead, or a text message or an email? When was the last time they were contacted? Has the agent even looked at this lead or not? So you can see, lead tags include and do not include. You can exclude certain leads. If lead tag, it include or does not have SOI, this type of thing. You can base the conditions on the source or the type or their status, etc. Do they have a contact delay assigned to them or not? There's a ton of conditions you can run. So let me just come back then to a couple more things.
And I just want to make a comment as, for a lot of my mega agents, big teams, this is like a game changer, technology and availability. And I just want everybody to know that Robert and a bunch of people in the Sierra Interactive Facebook group, they do a great job of being present, helping agents out. So there's a lot of other mega agents who've been with Sierra for 10 years or so who are all integrating this stuff. So my friends, you can jump in. get a part of the community, start exploring and starting to figure out how to get this implemented into your business. So take advantage of the community and all the resources available to you guys. So I just want to make sure I put a stamp on that, Robert, as you know, as I'm sure a lot of people, as I'm looking at this, going to get really excited. So let's keep going.
They can get really excited or a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
And you say, man, there's so much here. And so to your point, Patrick, there is a tremendous community within our client only Facebook group and some who work closely with our clients. And there is a really good and vibrant community and a helpful community in there. If you went in there right now, Patrick, and ran a search for automations, you'd find a bunch of people asking about, hey, what automations are you running? What's most helpful? Automations can be, you can just start with very simple things like a lead has a birthday coming up in 1 week, assign a task to the assigned agent to call them. But you can get super granular around something like, I'm just going to show you this one. Lead assigned to agent. Okay, so I gave you this example a few minutes ago. You could literally, if part of your workflow is that, it could go down to 5. Anytime that a lead is assigned to an agent, they've got to call within 5 minutes. So this can be a trigger. Lead was assigned to agent, new or existing, lead reassignment. And you can say something, for example, as a criteria like pawns, or you can actually, it's from here, reassign existing. You can exclude leads assigned to agents from pawns if you wanted. Then you can run it through some criteria, like let's say lead tag does not equal SOI, so that we can say this is somebody that Patrick's working with. Patrick added Robert to his database. He knows Robert, they're friends. He doesn't need to call him within 5 minutes, right? So you can exclude them based on criteria. Then you can say, so your criteria can be like agent contact. Let's say agent phone calls equals number placed equals 0. That can be your condition. Lead was assigned to an agent 5 minutes ago, within 5 minutes. No calls were made. You can then reassign that lead. You can reassign that lead to a pawn. You could reassign that lead to an agent. You could add a collaborator. The ISA can be assigned to the lead so that they'll call them. You can add a tag,
nice.
right?
Yes.
So this is, I'll just say without going, okay, you can create a note, create a task. Hey, you need to call this person, etc. So there is a ton, you can remove that agent from receiving new leads in the lead routing rules if you wanted.
Yes, I have a mega agent buddy who, if they don't show up to the sales meeting first thing in the morning, then they receive no leads that day, right? So there's a little bit of like this accountability that, do you want the new lead that comes today? Then you need to show up to the sales meeting and show up for work, right? So yeah, that's really fun. That is very slick. And I know a lot of, top agents and mega agents, they want these tools and they have the idea, but doing it manually makes no sense. But
and it doesn't have to be
done.
It doesn't have to be punitive either. I mean, accountability has a little bit of a negative connotation, but it can certainly just be like, look, you're behind. It seems that way. We're going to pull you out for today so that you can catch up, right? And there's just a ton of use cases for automations. I think that anybody that has any sense of ambition about really growing their business, or you have a business that is grown and you want to maximize and continue to iterate and make it better and better, Sierra Automations will allow you to do that. They just will. It's worth taking some time to look at or reaching out to the others in the community to see what they're doing to be able to use these, maximize them, use them to their fullest, because they really are powerful. They really are.
Is there any other automation types? We covered behaviors, we covered some calendar stuff. Is there anything else in here?
Tags can kick off an automation. Okay. When a lead status, phone status is updated, can trigger one.
Right.
We mentioned the behavioral, lots of items here around leads that are showing high intent. I mean, the behavioral triggers in particular, Patrick, will help to ensure that you do not miss opportunities, which right now is super crucial. The opportunities are not, extravagantly high like they would have been if we were talking a couple of years ago, Patrick, for a lot of people. So when they do surface, you want to make sure you don't miss them. And Sierra Automations can help ensure that that's the case. And calendar date, not just when lead assigned to agent, but if you've got a contact delay to assign to lead and it's ending soon, based on the lead registration, a specific date, maybe every Monday, you've got a series of tasks you want to assign to agents. You can do that based on lead anniversary, home anniversary, and lead birthday. I mentioned the action plans already, whether they're applied or they run out without any kind of response. Agent communications, right now, that's based on phone calls and the agent call outcomes. So we're talking about the dialer earlier. If you are logging a call and you select one of the options available to you in that log call outcome, that can trigger an automation as well.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, right. And then we do have some for the Revaluate score. And I mentioned already around that powerful integration. And I gave the example of Patrick moved up into 85. You're given a numerical score. So if a lead comes into a range or comes out of a range, that can trigger an automation as well. So let's say you've got 100 leads opted into Revaluate or 1,000 leads, and somebody's score comes up into a range. You want to see that. You want that to surface. So that can trigger an automation that assigns a task to the assigned agent that says, hey, this person moved into this range, something's going on with them, call them. And it can also trigger an email to the agent just so they don't miss it. Maybe they're not logging into the CRM or checking their task manager as frequently as you would like. You can trigger an email to them, the same type of thing. You can add a note to that lead detail page. You can apply a tag that not only the agents, but others on your team, admins, can be running through and looking for to be able to surface those people. So
that's really
those are all things that can trigger an automation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think we can have a field day with all of those.
We could. I mean, Patrick, we could have a whole set of webinar sessions, I think, for folks to learn how best to utilize Sierra automations.
Yep.
With all these features, we have extensive documentation in the knowledge base, and we have a community of people, not only Sierra clients, but Sierra customer success folks who are there to help on email, to help via phone call, and ongoing trainings all the time, live trainings where you can ask Philip and Meg and folks on our team to be able to say, walk me through how to do this, or this is what I'm trying to accomplish. How can I get there? And Sierra automations can typically get you there.
Yeah, I love it. I know you've got the topic of some of the new call to actions in the fields. Let's jump over to maybe whatever the last couple of topics.
I do want to talk about the front end websites a little bit.
Yeah,
and some of the front end. So David Short, our head of product, he's done a great job with those integrations I mentioned earlier. Mallory Walker, one of our other product managers, has overseen a ton of updates to the front end websites.
And she's the one that's in so just could you show everybody where all of the updates are? Because I can see it staring at me right there.
If you click on the knowledge base, or if you click on the announcements section, you'll be able to see all the updates. So every 6 weeks, we have a regular cycle of publishing updates. We'll do a video overview of them ahead of time so you can check out what's coming.
Yep.
And we'll make an announcement in the admin. We'll make an announcement in Facebook. We'll send out an email about it. We definitely make sure that you are aware of all the new stuff. You get all the documentation that you need to be able to learn about it beforehand, and including, as I mentioned, that video overview. So announcement section, it all lives in the knowledge base. We call them release notes. And every 6 weeks, we go through this cycle of talking about these new features. So a few things, Patrick, that I'll just hit some bullet points. One that I'll spend just a minute on. I think you're going to like this one. I don't know if you saw it when it came out, but now within a property listing detail page, you can add custom content, a custom block. So you can utilize, for example, a lot of variables, right? These little merge fields here, and it will now populate data that's going to be unique. So that's one of the things that, if you're thinking about SEO, and I know you spend a lot of time thinking about SEO, and some of our most successful clients are very interested in, how can I make my site stand out and rank organically so I can get organic leads within Google. SEO, Sierra is very, very well optimized for SEO. And this is one of those features. You can grab a custom content block and you can utilize it, based on the property status, based on the property type, and then add in information. I mean, one thing I'll mention that you'll definitely want to make sure is compliant and all of the rest. Sure. And I know that some of our clients have even utilized information about their lender here and things like this. So this would then display on a property listing detail page. Additionally, so I'm just grabbing one of our clients here and their site. Additionally, we released the option to be able to, speaking of lenders, to be able to feature your lender. A couple different placements here within the detail page in this flow, or over here on the right beneath the agent information. So that is now available. You mentioned this in the CTA. Let's see if I can pull back a little bit to some results. This came out in the last year, which is right here. How much is your homework? Yes. These call outs about home valuations right here within the search results. And, we've talked about this in the past, Patrick. There's probably more we can do in terms of cycling through some other things, and not just home valuation items, but this is what's available now within the front end websites. And now I'm just going to pump through some things. The option to search properties near me. Listings from saved searches on content pages can now be displayed in a non-paginated table, so if you've got a ton of results on a content page, instead of going, to screen 2 and screen 3, they'll all display on the same page. And that's helpful with time on site, which, as you know, is helpful with SEO. The get alerts button on community pages, it was within the year 2022, a call widget now for sites and small enhancements we made for the open house functionality. So a ton of updates to the front end websites, which, as you know, Sierra packages everything together there with the front end website with in a couple of different types you can choose from in terms of the homepage, the CRM with the integrated dialer with the Sierra automations, and they all play together, right? I mean, I showed you we talked about the automations, behavioral triggers, somebody returns back to the site. All the data is going to be there and available and syncing together, not via API integration, but all integrated within a singular end-to-end solution within Sierra. And did I mention, and have I mentioned in the past, you're not going to find a better value in terms of cost to what you get. You're just not anywhere in the real estate tech space. So Sierra,
and just, in summary, that is exactly why, when I'm getting pitched by every single one of the big brands, it is the updates, the technology, the SEO, the CRM, and all of my options and the automations. And it's like all of that all wrapped in probably the lowest cost for, in the industry. So
yeah, and there's a few different variations that you can choose and where you want it to display.
Yeah, where you want to display. I love that.
Okay. You can redirect it, where if you actually click on it, where we'll go to one of your seller lead sites, or will it go somewhere else? This right here, yes. So let's talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah, this is so interesting to me. I didn't even catch this on the update.
This was a very highly requested feature. And if you just look at it and you see some checkboxes and some configurable variables, like, well, why? Because of SEO. This is the way that you can make your Sierra site, the property detail pages on your site stand out from any other website out there. So the information pulled in the property detail page is going to be pulling from the MLS, right? Unless you've created the listing manually, or it's one of your featured listings. Within Sierra, you can go and modify some basic things like the content that displays for that property, and that makes it different than on your site. But the listing detail page content customization, this custom content block, does allow somebody to create content that would display within a block on any of the property listing detail pages, again, based on the status and property type that you want, and it's going to be unique. So when Google is looking at property detail pages, your Sierra property listing detail page is going to stand out and be different from anything out there because of what you've added in here.
Okay.
So there is a lot.
Could you show me kind of like how we would do that? Like, I want to just see it for a second.
Sure.
So you're looking at
ends, okay, and we'll say city. It is acres. This then, if I wrote this and we could add in some other things, if you're interested to learn more, please contact Patrick Ferry at, email. And this now will make it so that your property listing detail pages are all going to have the same kind of flow, but unique variables on any property detail page is going to be unique to that property detail page, to that property. But it's now this content right here is going to be, it will not be displaying on Zillow, it will not be displaying on Realtor.com, it will not be displaying on any of your competitor websites, right? Be they having a Sierra site or not, right? It's going to stand out and be unique, which will be helpful for SEO. It will stand out to Google.
And then in the placement down there, I can go above primary, below, above detail section, details.
And you can see here on the right-hand side where it will go.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So let's click on this preview. Okay, so you're looking at, and then this shows what it looks like. It is in the zip code. It is currently listed at $195,000. It's three. We'll need to put, beds, bedrooms, bathrooms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a really nice one, and I don't want to understate. This was a very highly requested feature among those who were most interested and aware of what Sierra sites and sites in general can do with search engine optimization, ranking organically in Google. This was a highly, highly requested feature.
I love it. That's awesome, man.
It's good stuff. I mean, there's just so much, Patrick, that Sierra sites can do. Not just, so we spent a pretty good amount of time in the CRM, but the front end websites are fantastic. They convert. They do great.
Hey, one more thing before you go. If you haven't signed up for my email newsletter, drop down below and just click the link that says email newsletter, and I'll send you the next one. I only send it out maybe 1 to 3 times a month max. I write it myself, and I'm only putting in some of the best ideas, strategies, books, podcasts, blogs, articles, my latest interviews, anything that I think is going to make a positive impact on you and your business, I'll put it in there. So I don't send it out very often. I wait until I have something worth sending. I hope you enjoy. It's easy to unsubscribe if you don't like it, no worries. All right, drop down below and get after it. And then, respond to the email. If there's anything I can do to help, I take a look at those emails and I will respond to you. All right, have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.